This clip is going to help you make sense of Assessment Task 2. So, as I've said earlier, as you look through the Progressing Your Assessment Task links, you will see information there to help you with your assessment work. So please remember to go there. Again, as with the first assessment task, please make sure you're consulting the course profile. So make sure that you have this with you as you're trying to make sense of your assessment information. Again, your course profile will list the due dates, it will list the particular information about the assessment that you need to know, whether it's an individual assessment. Now, as you read that, you will know that your second task is a group task. So this assessment block is going to be very important for the second task in particular. We'll go to this link in a minute, but this is where we find out about the group task and what it involves, and if you've read the course profile, you'll have a pretty good idea. You're going to need to form groups. So in this space, you're going to go to a wiki site and you're going to join up and identify some groups. So what you need to do is find the group that you are. So this is the distance student cohort. To add information, you click edit here. The information about how you use a wiki is up here in this shaded area. What I want you to do, the groups need to be only 3 or 4, no more than 3 or 4 please, and you're going to just join a group. So if you know people, then you might want to pre-arrange and hop in a group with them, but groups are self-selecting. So if you're a different cohort, then you'll need to just check with this drop-down menu that this is showing the group that you're in, whether you're Bundaberg or Noosa or distance or whatever. So add your name here. I want you to identify a key contact for your group. So that's if I need to contact your group about anything, I only have to contact one person. So please make sure that you include a key contact, you have the person's name in full, and that you indicate that person who I'm going to contact by identifying them in bold red font. Please include an email contact for this key contact person. Make sure you join that wiki if you need help with forming groups. The group assessment is going to involve you uploading a recorded presentation. So this is where you're going to upload that in this forum here, Assessment Forum, Assessment Task 2 Presentations. Now what I'd like you to do is find out, if you don't know, go back to your e-learning course information if you did e-learning recently, and find out how do you upload information, how do you save it as a movie file or an MP4 file, how do you upload it to YouTube or a similar site, and how do you embed that link then into a document or into our forum, which is what we want you to do. So we want you to come back to this forum and we want you to embed the link to your recorded presentation here. So what we'll have is a whole lot of groups here that we can enjoy watching. Okay, so let's go to the assessment link here for the group task. Again, what I'd like you to do is first up go to this link, which is the criteria sheet. You'll again find criteria down the side. So the first task is to design an engaging wellbeing resource. So the word engaging is key here, engaging your learners. An engaging wellbeing resource that's based on contemporary research and reading. So again, you need to identify that you know what contemporary research and reading is saying about what makes for supporting well-being and what would contribute to resource ideas. And your resource should be underpinned by your group's ownership of research-informed values, philosophies and approaches. So for instance, you might have been really inspired by the information on positive education, or you might have been really inspired by strength-based education. Now, a lot of those approaches, or those approaches like those two, have research-informed values and philosophies that underpin them. So make sure that you're talking about them. The second criteria is that your resource and your presentation reflect knowledge and understanding of issues related to well-being. So perhaps that could be things like risk factors or protective factors, and again you'll get a bit of an idea from the grading descriptors about what that might be. And issues related to positive mental health, to social emotional learning in different educational and social contexts. So again, you need to be thinking about who is your resource for. Is it for early childhood context? Is it for primary, secondary, TAFE, community space? Is it for parents? Who is your resource for? And then finally, your presentation is going to demonstrate that you can communicate professionally and you have literacy competence, and of course in that's going to be ICT competence. So again, have a look at the description in the grading descriptors about what do you need to do for a high distinction, what do you need to do for a pass, and look at these things. So we're wanting you to use imagination and creativity, and this assessment task gives you a great deal of scope for whatever resource you want to create and however you want to present that. It's really open-ended, so there's a great opportunity for you to demonstrate creativity and flair. So go through, similarly as I talked you through in the Assessment 1 media clip, go through these and identify what is it that we have to do here, and how does my resource show these? Does my resource provide rich opportunities for users of the resource to experience well-being? Does it provide opportunities to reflect on their own social emotional skills? Does it offer a wide range of strategies so that we as educators can create supportive environments and relationships? So go through and use your criteria sheet to help you. So as I said, this is a group assessment task. Groups are going to be self-selecting, and you'll use the wiki or your tute groups or your collaborate sessions to help that process along. Now, Assessment Task 2 requires you to work as part of your small group to collaboratively design, develop, produce, present, promote and justify a resource that could be used to support well-being. Now, you can aim your resource at any of the following. It can be a resource that supports a group of learners. It can be a resource that supports parents or carers or it might support the building of teacher-parent relationships. It might be a resource that's aimed at supporting educators and promoting educator self-care. So you can look at, is it for learners? Is it for parents and carers? Is it for other educators like me to support their self-care? So choose one of those. So you're going to design, develop and produce a resource. Now that can take all number of formats. It might be we've said down here, unlimited scope for choice and form. So give consideration to your user group. If it's a group of learners, then are they high school students? Are they young children? Who are they? You want to also think about resource quality. But the sorts of things you could consider could be books, games, movies, websites, scripts, teacher resources, classroom resources, kits, puppets, posters, and I've put other, so it's unlimited. Whatever your fantastic group can come up with, go for it. So after you've designed your wonderful resource, what you're going to do is create a 10-minute presentation. So actually, before we get on to the presentation, when you're thinking about your resource, what you need to make sure at a minimum is that you're considering those contemporary understandings and theories about mental health and well-being and social emotional learning. So when you groaned and saw all the huge information in topic 1, you're going to appreciate that, because you can then go back to topic 1 in particular, and of course the other topics, and return to those contemporary understandings and theories and use those. Obviously, you want to show that you've engaged with the course materials, and your resource obviously needs to reflect the needs and the context of the user group that your resource is aimed at. There's no use creating a resource for teenagers that really wouldn't interest them and that is suited more to lower primary. So make sure your resource has some information to show that you have reflected on the needs of your user group and the context where they might use it. You also need to determine and communicate how your resource provides opportunities for the users of your resource to experience well-being, or perhaps to reflect on their well-being, or practice and transfer their social emotional skills. Your resource, you should also be thinking about how it offers strategies for creating and maintaining supportive environments, or creating and maintaining relationships. And at a minimum, of course, you're going to play an active role in developing the resource and producing that resource with your group. Okay, so aspect 2 involves creating a 10-minute, so it's only 10 minutes maximum digital presentation where you're going to introduce this great resource, which was aspect 1. You're going to explain it, why it's useful, how it works. You're going to demonstrate it if demonstrating is part of it. So if you've created a great website, or you've created some kind of toy, or a game, you're going to demonstrate how you play that. You're going to promote it, so you want to sell it. You want to let us know why it's such a great resource, and you're going to justify it. Make sure that it is in line with what the literature and the research that you're focusing on is saying is important. Oh, okay, what's happened here? Right, sorry about that. The joys of filming. Okay, so 10-minute presentation. So what you're going to need to do is, as a team, you're going to have identify what multimodal literacies you all have and what your technology knowledge is, and you're going to use technology to produce a multimodal work, and it will have digital components. So I guess this could include music, it could include media, it could have film aspects or video, it can have narration, it might have slides, it might have images, screen captures, it might have sound, animation, diagrams, other. Now that's where your ideas can run away with you, and you can come up with whatever sort of digital online presentation using whatever ICT tools you have at hand. You might want to film drawings that you've created or paintings that you've made. So there's unlimited choice there. But in the end, it's actually going to be your group's communication, the stories that you tell, the passion that you have, and the preparation that you've given, and of course the technique that you use in your presentation that's going to persuade us as your audience to watch your presentation and to use it and action your resource beyond this course. So that's your aim, is you want us to use it. You want it to be worthwhile, that we all go, wow, that's so fantastic, I want that resource, I want to use that. So at a minimum, your presentation needs to effectively introduce and explain, demonstrate, promote and justify the resource. It needs to make explicit the theory and the philosophy that underpins your resource and why you created it and how it's going to be used. You need to make sure that you present a well-researched and literature-supported argument about why this resource is valuable and how it promotes mental health and well-being, how it might support social emotional learning for the particular user group that you're focusing on. You also want to make sure that your presentation features a range of engaging and creatively used digital and multimodal components. So again, if you've done e-learning, go back and revisit all those great tools that you found there. You want to make sure that your presentation invites a response from us and engages us as your peers. So make it interesting. Who's suffered death by PowerPoint? So perhaps not that isn't the way to go. Of course, if you want to use some slides and some PowerPoint information to communicate some information, that's fine. But I would suggest that you try some creative components up here. And finally, you want to make sure that each group has played an active and collaborative role in the presentation phases of the task. And if you can demonstrate that in the presentation itself, then that's fantastic. Now at the end, I'm going to send you a link to some self and peer reflection. Now that's not necessarily compulsory, but following the upload of your presentation to the forum that I showed you earlier, you're going to have an opportunity to complete a reflective assessment, and that will be about your team's contribution to this task. And as I said, the SBA tool on Moodle is going to facilitate that. And self and peer assessment is helpful because it actually increases your sense of responsibility around group assessment and also your autonomy. It's going to promote your active learning, and it's going to encourage you to think about your role and the contribution you make to group work processes. It also can help reduce, knowing that there's going to be some self and peer assessment at the end, can help reduce those people who kind of, take a free ride and don't contribute very much. So keep your eye out for that self and peer assessment link. So again, you upload your files here at the end, and it's open earlier. It's going to be due, it's going to be due in week 11. Now, of course, for those of you who are worried about preparing for your EPL block, you can submit it earlier than that if you like. And we've made sure that there's plenty of time between task 1 and task 2, so that there's plenty of time to get feedback, for staff to mark both assignments and give you feedback. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight into the second assessment task. So good luck.